The morning after the Brixton Mystery came to light, newspapers were filled with extensive coverage and speculative commentary. The Daily Telegraph marveled at the case's peculiarities, suggesting the victim's German background, and the cryptic inscription on the wall pointed to a politically motivated murder by revolutionaries. The paper meandered into historical and theoretical tangents before advocating stricter oversight of foreigners in England. The East Standard linked the incident to societal unrest, asserting such crimes were more common under liberal governance. It identified the victim as Enoch J. Drebber, an American gentleman residing at Madame Charpentier's boarding house with his secretary, Joseph Stangerson. The two men were last seen heading to Euston Station to catch a train, but were separated before Drebber was discovered dead in an empty house on Brixton Road. The East Standard expressed confidence in the Scotland Yard detectives, Gregson and Lestrade, to solve the case. The Daily News echoed the political motive theory, emphasizing the role of exiled revolutionaries with stringent codes of honor. The paper commended Gregson for uncovering Drebber's boarding address, a lead deemed pivotal to the investigation. Holmes and the narrator reviewed these articles over breakfast. Holmes, amused, remarked on the certainty that Lestrade and Gregson would receive credit, regardless of their actual contributions. His sharp wit surfaced as he wryly commented on the public's admiration of even mediocre efforts. Their discussion was interrupted by a commotion in the hallway and their landlady's audible complaints. Moments later, a group of scruffy street children, the Baker Street Division of the Detective Police Force, as Holmes called them, burst into the room. Holmes directed their leader, Wiggins, to report on their progress. Though the children had no new findings, Holmes paid them for their efforts, dismissing them with instructions to continue their search. He explained their value to the narrator, noting that their inconspicuousness allowed them to gather information unavailable to official figures. Soon after Gregson arrived, his demeanor exuding triumph. He announced he had solved the case and arrested the culprit, Arthur Charpentier, a sub-lieutenant in the Royal Navy. Holmes, masking his response, invited Gregson to recount his findings. Gregson, visibly pleased with himself, detailed his investigation. He traced Drebber's hat to its seller, John Underwood and Sons, which led him to Madame Charpentier's boarding house. There, his questioning revealed Drebber's inappropriate advances toward Alice Charpentier, prompting her mother to evict him. However, Drebber returned later, intoxicated and aggressive, making an improper proposal to Alice. Arthur, Alice's brother, intervened. Madame Charpentier, though not witnessing the events that followed, recounted Arthur's pursuit of Drebber out of the house. Gregson theorized that Arthur caught up with Drebber on Brixton Road, where an altercation led to the latter's death. He believed the scene's peculiar details, such as the inscription and blood, were deliberate attempts to mislead investigators. Holmes listened impassively, offering measured praise for Gregson's deductions. Their conversation was interrupted yet again by Lestrade, whose disheveled appearance betrayed his unease. He hesitated before delivering shocking news. Joseph Stangerson, Drebber's secretary, had been found murdered at Halliday's private hotel earlier that morning.